Hey all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're visiting us for the very first time. And I'm going to take a look at something that I meant to kind of take a look at a while ago. It's actually a Christmas gift from good friend of the channel, Maximal10, and I intended to kind of put it together and kind of go through it on last week's live show. If you haven't been checking them out on Thursday nights, then why not, man? What am I talking about? I'm talking about the KBB Tyrone Cable King. It is a model kit of Grimlock, and this is going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. All that stuff helps me out so very much, man. And while you're at it, that's right, man, hit that notification bell because it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, the Autobot family, and have a look for me everywhere across social media. All those links down in the description, man. You know I like interacting with you guys whenever I get the opportunity, however it happens, and this is a take on Grimlock via a model kit by KuBianBao. I don't think that this is a KO, which is interesting because usually KBB is known for their KOs. I think this is original. Somebody can correct me on that if I'm mistaken. But it's a model kit, so we have two things to do. We're going to do a little bit of a build. Now, I've never done a model kit before, but like this should be easy. It's only 10 pages in the instruction booklet. Like this should be a joke easy, man. And then we'll actually do the review of the resulting Grimlock. So, that's it. This is the box. This is the front. I'm not going to go through this again. It's kind of a nice glossy image of Grimlock here. Besides that, it's fairly plain. On the side we have the image of like Grimlock and some of the pieces. On the back we have both of them. All of this is just warnings. You know, like don't eat the box or anything that's in it. I love this. There's a robot, and there's the dinosaur, and there's arrows, and it's just completely deformed. This is great. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, but it should be easy, right? I mean, how hard can it be? It's only 10 pages, and I mean, I think only 6 of them are the instructions to putting this together. So the rest are like the conversion. Yeah, this will be a cinch, man. This will be a cinch. So let's head over to the table and begin to put this guy together. Now, surely this won't be a big deal, right? I know we have a lot of parts, and I'm going to have to use a tool, in this case a screwdriver at some point. I'm not great with tools, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is going to be easy, right? I don't know if I'm trying to convince you guys or trying to convince myself. Now I'm not going to show everything because that would get real boring real fast. Plus, we have a lot of like things here that are doubled. For example, we have like 2, dinosaur legs and like 2... we'll say like robot legs, like we have 2 of a lot of things, so I'll kind of quickly show the parts that go together for one, and of course that would be the same for the other one. I'm not of course going to start off looking at the packaging. We already sort of done that for what it is. I will kind of show the page in the instruction book, and so you can sort of follow it along, I suppose. We're going to take this out of it. We're just going to take a quick look at that instruction book first anyway. And so here, of course, we have that instruction booklet. It's, there's one of those codes down there, QR code. Is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it takes you to an app, WeChat, whatever WeChat is. The back has a lot of stuff in, I assume, Chinese. I can't read any of it. I don't even know if it's Chinese. Maybe it's Korean or Japanese or Laotian or I don't know. I can't read it. But there you go. Nevertheless, what we do have inside, thankfully, are some pretty nice kind of clear-ish images, I suppose. This is the completed lad. It's only 10 pages long. So like this is going to be simple. This is where we begin by putting the lower legs together. This is the pieces that we use for it. So Here are a bunch of parts that we need to make a leg. They are coordinated by like A, B, C, D, E, and F, and of course number on there. So we kind of start off with these claws here, and this piece over here, and presumably we place the claw in somewhere here. Looks like it goes in that little hole there. And then there's a yellow piece here, and this one goes in the back of, say, this one over. That one over there, like that. We're gonna put those together. we're gonna put those together, and then we should be able to take. There's a little. Oh no! There's a little post in there. We should be able to take this hand piece and put it on over that, apparently. Yeah, and this is what we have now. We have the front claw, the back claw, and a hand in there. It'll end up being the robot hand eventually. Then we take this little piece here, and we position it this way, I think, and it goes. Yeah, it'll go in on kind of the other part, and then we sort of sandwich these two pieces together. And the last part to do here is we take this piece and it goes in there, and this piece goes on over right there, and they snap together, and we got a dinosaur leg, or a Grimlock arm, if you will. And a mere 3 to 5 minutes later, and now I have two of these together. That's two legs with hands in them. Now I don't have any screws put in them at this point. Nothing in the instructions says to do that. But we can move on to the next part, which is really kind of like his tail piece. And I've got one put together. This eventually will become his foot. This piece up here will become the robot mode foot. This is not held together well at all at this point, but again, I don't have any screws put in this yet. I'll show you the part in the book and the instructions. And with one already done, they kind of condense the instructions for the other one. You put the thigh, the robot mode thigh together, and then that goes kind of sandwiched in between what's going to end up being the cap and the tail of the leg, so that we end up with two of these things. So basically you take this here little square lad, and then you're going to sandwich the thigh pieces on around it. So you're going to sandwich a thigh piece on there, and then you're going to take this one and you're going to sandwich that on around there, and this really is the upper leg of Mr. Grimlock. So it seems like the trick to doing this is like finding a piece to kind of start with to get you oriented correctly. So I'm gonna do it with this piece here, and we're gonna hope for the best. But I'm not holding out hope that I'm gonna do very well with this. So we take the thigh, and it apparently goes over a little peg down there, but it doesn't really stay on, not at this point. Then we take the tail piece, and it goes into the leg piece. Or it's supposed to go into the leg piece. You little. Okay. So we got that done. Then we take this here piece with the ball peg on it, and like it's going to go above the thigh, if that makes any sense to you. There you go. So it should look like that. When you're gonna go to Grimlock, like robot mode, it'll go up like that and become a foot, right? So that's, now we got two of those. Just for the record, we're on page 4, and this has been brutal. 4 pages so far, but we have 2 of these legs now. C2. Moving on. Okay, so now it looks like we're actually gonna get like his lower torso put together. His torso and pelvis, you can see we use 4 pieces over here, and hopefully they're going to go together to look like that thing over there with the 2 ball pegs on it, but I don't believe for a second that's what's going to happen with me doing it. Okay, so I'm confident that this is going to be easy. We start here with the little like waist section, and on top of that we take this little lad, and he goes in there. He goes in there like that, I believe. I think. I hope. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. There. So we do that, and then we come over to the back, and we actually have some pegs and peg holes here. So now we take the other lad here, and there's a rectangular, half of a rectangular peg on the top. There's the other half of the rectangular peg here. So that goes on to give you a nice rectangular peg on the top, and then the piece with the 2 ball pegs goes in underneath on the back and tabs in, and now we have like a torso and a pelvis, and I guess it looks okay. It's pretty Grimlocky, you know. It's red. I need to kind of get this sandwiched together a little bit better, but you get the idea. I assume that a screw to secure this into place will go in through that hole right there in the back eventually. Next up we have the head. It's 3 little pieces. That little piece with the crossbar, it sandwiches in between the red piece on the back and the black piece on the front. The black piece on the front, of course, is his head. The red piece on the back is the back of the head, but it's also his eyes. And in order to give you like a neck swivel, that little piece has to go sandwiched in between. It's very small and very hard to get in place. Like, that's the piece. Like, look how tiny that is. And I have the hands of a small, sickly girl. Nevertheless, when you get all 3 pieces put together, it looks like this. And he has a neck tilt down and up. And I assume the mushroom peg on the bottom there will be used to allow a swivel to go around. The back of this, for the record, is just that red piece put in the back. I guess you should put a screw in there eventually. So we have a head, and we got a lower torso, but we need to put together the upper torso now, and we're going to incorporate the head, I suppose, into this. I don't know. There's a lot of pieces here that got to go together. Like, this little piece here is going to be used on the back. I guess it's what his dinosaur arms will go into, I presume. We have these other black ones here. 2 ball pegs on it. That's going to give him his shoulder and his arms. This is the little clear piece. This, I guess we can put this on. This is just that clear piece that goes on Grimlock's chest. Yeah! That's looking like a Grimlock chest to me. This lower piece goes, I guess sandwiched in there, right? Like, I guess it'll go like this eventually. The tricky part is knowing exactly how to like put the arm pieces in these black thingamadoogies. I don't know the technical term for a thingamadoogie. I don't understand what they are. But like, I guess I'll find out where these slot in and try and get this. I guess they go, there's a little notch here, and there's a little like almost slider piece on there. Maybe that's how this goes in. Perhaps. Like that. I hope that's correct. We took that other black piece and we put it up in there. I think that's right. There's a little notch here. There's a little notch on the front. Obviously that mushroom peg from the head fits in between both of those notches and goes sandwiched together, so that in the end you have an entire head and torso that looks like this. Not a bad looking little Grimlock so far. Now that piece on the back here is supposed to be able to rotate up and down. It does like to pop out. I probably don't have it in there as securely as I should, but you take this other clear piece here, and using this section here, you put this on over, and it's supposed to be able to like rotate down on his back. I guess like that. I'm gonna just get it secured and show you what I mean. Actually, you can kind of see it right there. I still need to get it secured though. All right, you can sort of see the way it's supposed to go there. Maybe my favorite part of the instructions is that after you get the torso together and that clear piece on the back, then it just jumps over to this and is like, hey, it should look like this, but there's no more instructions to tell you how to put that together, so you just have to find the parts and figure it out for yourself. Fortunately, it's pretty simple. You just take one of these big pieces here, you put a black peg into a hole that's there, it has a ball joint on it, you put the little dinosaur arm on it, you use this piece back here to attach it to the clear plastic piece. You do that on both sides so it looks like this. Not bad, not bad if I do say so myself. I think the next best thing to do is probably the head of Grimlock. And there's a few pieces to go with that, you know, there's a few pieces. You can sort of see the neck pieces, the upper head, the lower jaw, and how they will kind of go together here. And then of course we're going to start putting other pieces on after. Okay, so in an effort to be expedient here, I put both of the neck pieces together. I have the lower jaw affixed to one side of the head. I have the eye piece affixed to the other side of the head. And the head is gone through a hole in the neck piece. And we're going to take the other side of Grimlock's head, and hopefully this will just like snap on. Yeah, snap on just like that. So now we have a nice Grimlock head. Does the jaw open? You betcha! And we're going to attach it with this hook back here. As you can see, we clipped it onto that clear piece on the back, so that's what the entire upper body of Grimlock is attached to. Now all we have to do is kind of put in the screws to tighten things up, and then put the legs and whatnot on. I'm gonna try and do that now. And with a screw put in the back of the head and the back of the pelvis and 4 put in the back of the body, this guy is fairly solid now. He's turning into a pretty cute little Grimlock. We're gonna try and deal with the arms next. There's a couple of screw holes there as well to deal with, and then they kind of go pop down over those ball joints. Surely you see where this is going now. Nowhere in the instructions does it say to put the screws in anywhere. It's probably left out because they didn't want you to know that it's the fast track to arthritis. Like, holy snot on a cracker, man. This is brutal putting these together. Luckily, I only have the legs left, but to be fair, I'm not even 100% sure I got the legs put together correctly. Now, before we see how I made out with those legs, just a couple of odds and ends, I suppose you would call it here. We're gonna just take that red piece off, throw that to the side, and then we come to these 2 clear pieces. This clear piece here is his blaster, and this other clear piece here is the handle, the hilt, whatever you want to call it, of his sword. We'll see the blaster up close first, and then the sword. And there you go, a very Grimlock-esque type of blaster in this like smoky gray translucent plastic. As for his sword, you have this red blade, and it's supposed to go into this handle, but the hole up top that it's supposed to go into isn't, like, they didn't cut it out, so it can't fit in there. It's solid. I'm gonna have to, I guess, drill a hole in there, I suppose. And with a little bit of drilling and a little bit of glue, I finally have this together the way it's supposed to be. And it does fit, apparently, kind of, sorta, on Grimlock's back in Dino mode. See the, this, okay, so it wasn't a cinch to put it together. Some parts were harder than others. I should have put the screws in as I was going. I gotta clean up from this. I'm gonna clean up from this. Let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Okay, so now we're back into more familiar territory. This was like my first like model kit thing, and I know that KuBianBao is most often known for its KOs of a lot of things, but this is, as far as I understand, its own design, and that makes it kind of unique. Maybe it's not its own design, I don't know, but my understanding is that it's its own design. It looks nice. You can see where the blaster fits up here, and this just sort of like wedges in there. It's not so much a dedicated spot that I can tell. If it is, I don't really know exactly how it fits there because the instructions aren't super clear about the placement of it, but it does stay there in this mode, form, whatever, and it looks nice. Nevertheless, we're going to take the sword out of it for now. And we're going to remove the blaster up there for now. It fits in quite tightly, actually. And this is Grimlock in his dinosaur mode, and it's nice. I like the gray. I like the yellow, sort of instead of the gold. Like, I dig the yellow because it looks very cartoon-esque, so to speak. I do wish the eye pieces were blue, but beggars can't be choosers. The mouth does open and close. The head does move up and down. The ball pegs on the arm allows the arm to go out and all the way around. The arm is just one solid piece, so there's no like real elbow or claws or anything like that, but kind of what do you expect for what this is. The legs, they can I guess sort of go out to, they can't really go out to the side. They sort of wiggle a bit there. They can go forward, they can go back. If you want to extend them a bit, you would get a little bit of like a knee. The claw, it can go back. The front claw can go forward, so like he can sort of, you know, be like walking a little bit, so to speak. I mean, it's dino mode. It only does so much. No move. Well, I guess some movement here at the tail, up and down, but no movement side to side or anything like that. No waist or anything like that. But it's a solid little guy once you get all of the kind of screws put in to hold all of the pieces together with sort of an ingenious transformation. Now, I'm not going to score him yet based on what we see here because we haven't seen all of the robot, though we have sort of seen some kind of sort of the robot. Interesting conversion, that's what I'm going to say at this point. So with a few readjustments, we're going to dive into the transformation for this guy, which is actually fairly ingenious. The head we can flip back. Now there is a little tab and like slot and tab. It doesn't work the best on my copy, but I think that's just my copy. I'm sure it works fine on others. Then we need to split the chest, which is actually pegged together very tightly. And we take those back. We have all of that back for now. We're going to deal with kind of the lower body next. And it's really weird. You split it, but you don't just flip the legs down. When you split the legs, you're going to end up kind of taking the legs out to the side based on the ball joints. So we split that, and we split the tail. And we do begin to sort of try and rotate out a little bit. Now, as we open it up like this, and I know this is a bit weird, but I'm doing this to show you guys, we open out this red flap and we open out this red flap. Then we can start to bring the leg down, where you'll notice I'm kind of doing the splits with the guy. We're going to do the same on the other side. We do, say, the splits with the guy. Then we take the tail and we rotate it down. It'll only go down so far for now. Same here, it'll only go down so far for now. We straighten up a foot and we straighten up a foot a little bit. We rotate this red piece in. We rotate this red piece in. We bring the tail down the rest of the way. That fills in the back of the leg. Now we can just straighten that up and bring it down. Straighten that up and bring it down. Kind of fix up our feet here a little bit. Bring down an arm and bring down an arm. And we can stand Grimlock up. I love the way that everything kind of unfolds and unfurls there and then folds back up so that we don't have any hollowness in the legs. It's a bit different, bit unique, but very familiar. As for the arms, you open out the back claw. I guess you can even bring up the front claw a little bit. You rotate out the hand, which is a mite tricky to do. You close that claw up, you extend the arm. Very Grimlock typical type of conversion for the arms. No big surprises there if you're used to doing other Grimlock arm conversions. Open it out, and then this whole piece here on the back, it angles down. On the back here, I guess you can straighten down the Grimlock head. You can set him up like that. Here, we'll do that. And in the end, boom, here we have Grimlock in all of his robot glory. And yes, indeed, he holds his accessories just fine. How does he compare size-wise? Well, here he is next to 35th Anniversary Voyager, Cell-Shaded Optimus Prime, as well as 35th Anniversary Blue Streak. He's not quite the size of a current small deluxe. He's not as small as a Legends. He's sort of in between. Now, this was a gift from Maximal 10 that was actually pretty great, if I'm being perfectly honest. The coloration is fantastic. You throw an Autobot symbol on his chest there, and honestly, I'm going to say it's 10. Like, it is quintessentially Grimlock, and I love the yellow, probably more than the gold. But it's very accurate, you know. I'm quite happy with it in that regard. In terms of the transformation, honestly, I love the way the legs are done. I think it's solid 9. It is definitely a solid 9. Maybe even a 10. It's a great transformation, very clever. In terms of the articulation, the head goes left and right. It can go up and down. The arms can go all the way around on their ball joints. Can't really go out. Maybe a little bit, but like that's as far as you're really going to get it. A bit of a shame. 90 degree at the elbow. Swivel. Nothing really at the wrist. We do have a waist, which is nice. We do have, as you saw because of the transformation, we do have hips way out to the side. Well forward, well back. Nice over 90 degree at the knee. Thigh swivel, ankle tilt. You can score some pretty great dynamic poses with them. Honestly, once you put all of the screws in and tighten them, the tolerances are pretty fantastic. I wish the shoulders had more of a range than they seem to have. That's slightly unfortunate. I'm going to say it's a solid 7 for maybe an 8. Let's say an 8. I'm in a good mood. Let's say it's an 8. Overall, this guy's about an 8. It's a dandy little Grimlock. It's obviously not really going to kind of fit in with too much, but if you're like a Grimlock collector, then this guy might be up your alley. In terms of him being a model kit, I'm not super familiar with him, but for those who are, it's a pretty simple one to do overall. I learned a couple of things along the way even, such as maybe when I put the pieces together, put the screws in at the time instead of waiting until the end. Just saying. Maybe that's a thing I could do in the future. It's dandy. I don't think I would have went hunting for this myself, but I'm kind of glad to have it nonetheless, and will gladly put it with the rest of my display. Overall score for the guy, again, about an 8. Not too bad for something that I never really went looking for. And so here we are, and here he is, and you know what? He's not a bad little Grimlock. I love the coloration on him. He actually has pretty good heft. The way the tail folds up to become part of the calf and whatnot here on the back of the leg, like it fills in the hollowness. Ankle tilts and knees, like the legs from the waist down, this guy is fantastic. The head is nice because it's not a ball joint. Like you have that crossbar that gives you the up and down, and then it's a mushroom peg that gives you the swivel. It's very smooth, actually. The conversion is very clever. I wish the shoulders went out further than what they did. Like, it's a shame that they're kind of limited, but besides that, this guy's pretty great. If you are a Grimlock collector, he's definitely worth, I think, adding to your collection. If you're a Dinobot collector, he's definitely worth kind of adding onto the shelf because he really pops. The way the red, the black, the gray, and the very vibrant yellow comes together really makes this guy stand out. Who knew? Who knew? But my first foray into a model kit, I think it went pretty well. Maybe the construction of the model kit went a little harder, than I would have liked for it to go. But the end result is pretty fantastic, and I am very glad to add this guy to my Dinobot collection. Let me know what you think about this guy, or any experience that you've had with model kits. Are you into them? Are you not into them? There's a lot of them out there. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you know what to do. Hit the donate link down in the description. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every day you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time, man, that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, man, right here inside the videos.